Welcome back to Classic Mix-Up Podcast, episode 14. I'm Rosario.
And I'm Riley. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good week. Rosario, how you been?
I've been all right. I've been getting busy, but yeah, I don't know. More of the same. I'm excited to be
me
here
too.
tonight. Talk about these two records.
Yeah, me too. It's a little break from my busy week. I feel like I've been busy. I was just telling you before we started recording.
Yeah, it's exam
I have
season.
I've had midterms. I didn't even know it was midterms already, and I'm like what, dude? I feel like I just got in school and it's already
I know.
getting exams.
Semester's
and
gonna go
shit.
fast.
Oh, that's good though. I mean, it's been a good one for me so far overall. No, not a lot of stress, just like doing work.
That's good.
Yeah. But I did have a weird day today, I guess, before we get into that one.
Yeah, go ahead. What
So
happened?
my first class was all right. I got 2 classes today. And I get into my second class, sit down. I get there way early. It's in the same building, whatever. I just sit and go play chess or whatever. Watch YouTube or something. And my professor starts out. So we have this essay due on Wednesday, like at midnight. So basically like Thursday morning, whatever. And he's like, it's a 4-page essay, super easy. Like, no worries. I wasn't worried about it. And he's like, okay, has anybody not finished the book that the essay is for? And a few people raise their hands. I'm like a little short on it. Okay. I got like a chapter. Okay. I'm like, okay, but realistically I could type this essay if I finished the book in the same day as I was typing the essay. I'm like, no worries.
Yeah, sure.
So he's like, okay. All those people leave. He's like, and he's like, and everybody stands still. And you could hear this dead silence, and everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, go to the library right now and go leave my class if you haven't finished the book. He's like, you don't get to hear this. He's gonna lecture on the book today.
Yeah.
He's like gonna lecture on it, and which is no loss. Like honestly, like I think you could write an essay while not being in lecture for the book. Like
right, but
it's
still.
Me, and then I sit there, and then everybody starts to get up, and the guy that sits next to me in class is like, I usually sit next to him, and he's like, I even finished the book, and I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna go home. I'm like, he's like, starts to get up, and the other girl to my left of me was like, she's like, what do I do? What do I do? I've only read like 2 chapters of the book, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to be like the one of 5 students left in the room out of a 40-person class, and then what did you learn about this book? I don't want to be like, I don't know. I just read it. Like it's for an essay. I'm not like remembering it. And so he was pissed now. And then the whole class leaves. I don't even think
person
besides 5 people.
Oh my gosh,
dude!
That's so
5.
Awkward. I would have left for sure.
I was close to finishing I'm close to finishing the book.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to be picked on.
Right. To talk about
I'm
the
like,
book, yeah.
I'm out. So I don't know. I got to get some lunch, and then it led me to another weird thing that happened to me today. Not very weird.
Yeah.
But you would find this interesting. So
okay.
The burger joint is a Little Bros Burgers, in Royal Oak.
I don't know it, but
okay. I think if we were by the place, it's pretty iconic in Royal Oak.
Okay, I might then. Shop. Maybe.
So they have like a truck on campus, and so it's like a tow truck, like like kind of like a food truck kind of deal. And they didn't open until 12, but I got out super early, and I was gonna get me and my girlfriend a burger. So I wait for the place to open at noon, and I'm sitting on this ledge, and this kid comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing great, man." And he was like, "Do you want to join Bible study on campus? Like I run Bible study."
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm good, thanks, man.
Why does this always happen to you?
I get approached like my girlfriend just knows me as the person that gets approached. I think it's because I hold myself. I sit very open. I think like I'm very, and I wear bright colors a lot. Like I'm very like I don't sit like all like
hunkered down.
Yeah, like
at your phone at all times.
I like looking around. I usually like
For sure.
I sit back usually. I'm really open. My shoulders are open. My body's open to everybody. Homeless people, not homeless people. You could literally get me in Detroit, and I feel like everybody wants to talk to me for some reason.
So funny.
Anybody on the street.
You just have that kind of vibe.
It's not even done, dude. That was just the tip of the iceberg.
And the kid comes up to you.
So he comes up to me and says, he's like, are you Christian? And I was like, well, no, like I hover between atheism and agnostic. Like I don't, I
Yeah.
like to
Not a
think
big
more broad.
JC guy, as you would
Not a
say.
big JC. Hey, no hate to any of the JC lovers,
Of course not. Of
right? Because that's love, that's peace.
course.
I don't float that way, and that's but I find
Nothing
peace in
wrong
that.
with that.
And this kid was like, he was like, well, Jesus Christ is your savior. And I said, how? And I had 15 minutes to burn. So I took this opportunity to just
Yeah.
talk to this kid. And I
Yeah.
wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. I was just talking to him. And he was trying to get me to convert so bad, dude. He was
Oh,
like,
good
he
for
went
that
from
kid.
like, what about when you're dying on your deathbed? And I'm going to be at peace knowing that I don't know. Like, I find peace in that. And he's like, but all these people walk around with this black hole in their heart without Jesus. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, that's a bit much. Like, I think people are just depressed because they got to go to school, or like maybe their parents aren't very nice to them or something.
Yeah, right.
And
We
then
got to
this
pay
kid's like,
rent.
Jesus. And I was like, I was just trying to talk to him. And he was like, oh, my parents raised me atheist. And I'm like, see, but your parents raised you to be a Christian. And he blew his mind. It blew, like, they by them being atheists, they led you to Christianity. So
Yeah.
it blew his, he couldn't
He
like,
couldn't process that.
no, and I think it got to a point where like we were sitting down and I was thinking, I'm like, listen, like I think the way that I see it, like he kept trying to get me to think of death and stuff like that. And I said, I'm fine thinking that you could die and nothing would be there. Or if I'm wrong, then hey, I can't I've lived a life already, I'm fine.
Right.
But so I'm sitting there and he's like, and I kept saying like, well, I think Christians and Muslims are all kind of like thinking the same thing but different languages, basically like different
More or
avenues,
less. The
more or less.
Abrahamic religion tree. Yeah.
Yeah, they all kind of want the same thing. Like, let's be,
Yeah.
kind of. If you didn't know about Christianity your whole life, you think you could be like happily Islamic or whatever. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
was saying to the kid, and he was like, and I said that, and he's like, he got quiet and didn't say goodbye to me, got up and walked away.
Damn. You
Dude,
rocked that guy's world.
well, but I think he just got mad, and I wasn't even saying anything crazy. I was
Yeah.
just like,
You're
hey,
not even
like
being disrespectful
no,
either.
I'm not
I
saying
know
he's
you. I
wrong
know
at
you
all.
never
I'm
would.
just
Yeah.
no, I try not to be like
Wow.
I try to just talk to. I like now. I brought up Dante's Inferno. I know it's not a religious book, but I
Yeah.
love that book as like a cool homage to like a religious guy. Like Dante was pretty wild, and he thought of pretty interesting ideas. So I was like, "What about purgatory, man?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, what about those Greek people that didn't know about Jesus?" And then he's like, "Oh, that's not it. That's not. That's it. We're talking about now. We're talking about you." And I was like, I'm just trying to get
Damn.
burgers, man. And he
I was
left
gonna say
right at
I
12.
have one question. Did you get the
Hit me.
burger?
Dude, get this. He fucking walked away right at 12:05.
Oh, beautiful.
I didn't waste any of my time. I was waiting anyway.
You're gonna be sitting on that ledge anyways.
And I didn't think about being cold. It was a cold, windy day today. I was sitting in my jacket and I was talking to
Yeah.
this guy crossing my legs. I was all like, I'm just being snarky and like all this kind of stuff. But hey, I got off the phone with my girlfriend. She's like, hey, get me a burger. I'm like, okay, I'll get you a burger. Saw that it was closed, still opens up at 12. Kid comes up to me. I sit down on the ledge,
Yeah.
talks to me for 15, 20 minutes. I realize it's 12. I go over, get burgers.
And you're
That's
done for
my
the
day,
day.
man. Dude, that was my day.
Sick day, man.
Dude,
My day
that
was way less eventful. I spent like 2 or 3 hours just writing code, so that's neither here nor there.
yeah, the grind though.
That's what I signed up to do with my life, I guess. So,
Hey man.
but yeah, I don't know. You wanna talk about music?
Yeah, sorry guys, dude. I just had to tell Rosario about my day.
I wanted to hear it, so
I feel like you would have. I felt like you would have
that kind of stuff
enjoyed
only
that story.
happens to you, man. No, that's like I don't know, like
It does. It does. I literally I leave that guy and I get the burgers and I FaceTime my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, you guess what happened to me?
yeah.
And it's always a story about someone coming up to me, like
Yeah,
saying,
right.
hey,
People
what's
just come up
up?
to you.
Well, and they don't just say like it's like if a homeless person comes up to me, they're not just saying, hey man, could I have some change or whatever. It's all
Yeah.
like, hey man, help a brother out, have a, what are you doing or what are you walking around for? It's like a whole conversation.
Yeah,
And
right.
I'm like, I gotta go to class, man. I like literally gotta go to class. It's like always they're trying to pull me in. They know I talk. They know I'm a talker. But it's like,
That's
yeah. And then I
funny.
call her and and I'm like, tell her that that kid was talking to me. And she was like, that only happens to you.
It does. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? That's probably a good quality to have. You know what I mean?
Hey, because the way I see it, I approach, that makes me approachable to people that I will want to talk to and like hang out with.
Yeah, sure.
So,
There you go.
dude, back to music, I guess, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's get into
So,
music.
yeah. If you clicked on this podcast and you think we just talk about our lives, we actually talk about music.
Never,
So,
actually. We never
yeah,
do.
almost
Yeah.
never. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, today we're talking about two. Well, I guess an album and an EP, if we want to get
Mm,
technical.
mm,
So we have today "Window Flowers," I believe it's called, by Liz Cooper,
mm.
and I believe her band that backs her up is called the Stampede.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we after that we'll get into an EP called "Ferris Wheel on Fire" by Neutral Milk Hotel. But yeah, we're gonna start off with the Window Flowers album, which was the album that Riley picked to talk about this week. So I guess if you want to maybe start it off and see where it
Yeah,
goes from there. Yeah.
so this album actually, this album, well, I guess the let's break it down kind of the artist. Like I kind of chose this album to listen to more myself,
Mhm.
because I like the artist Liz Cooper and I like her, she did I think an Audio Tree album. Audio Tree, like they do like, I think that it's like a newspaper online or whatever, like, and they do music
Yeah, I
videos.
saw that on Apple Music and I was a little confused about what that was. So if you go on Apple Music, there's Liz Cooper, which is you find this album under.
Mm,
Then there's also Liz Cooper and the Stampede, but they have
yeah.
only like that like weird special
Yeah.
recording for them. Yeah.
But it's so the way I discovered this artist and her band was through Audio Tree, which it does they do like live like albums and that kind of thing, and it's just performances. Like I think like Peach Pit did one, and a
Okay.
couple other like indie. It's a lot of indie and folk stuff. And so I, for the longest time, I listened to only her live songs, and then I started listening to a few weeks ago her album Window Flowers, which had a couple of songs that I love, like a couple of my favorite songs by her.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to give it to you because it's kind of that in between of like stuff that I like and the stuff that you like more
Yeah,
folky stuff,
I was gonna
but it's
say
also
that.
kind of more like rocky, kind of like jam stuff that I tend to like.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot of different kind of a little bit of different genres coming together. Like it's definitely a really specific. Like I don't want to say it's something that's never been done before. Like I don't want to go that far as to say that, but it's definitely a very specific kind of subgenre of like
mm,
folk where it's like that like folk. It's kind of interesting. We picked it on the same day as Neutral Milk Hotel because it
yeah.
is kind of like psychedelic, like folk rock
Oh yeah,
fusion,
yeah.
but it's done in like a totally different way. So I thought it was really interesting sound, and I really liked it a lot. So you
That's
picked well
awesome.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I one thing that I like the main thing that I took away from it, I guess, is a lot of the songs, if you remember, a lot of the songs have a lot of purely instrumental sections,
Mm,
which I usually prefer music like with vocals, not like just purely instrumental music.
yeah.
But one thing that this album did well was using both of those different styles, and
Yeah.
it was able to make a really like atmospheric feeling, a really like it definitely had a very specific vibe and was very like psychedelic and atmospheric, and like it was one of those records that you just like turn on and kind of like just relax and listen to in the background.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
it put me in a really, I guess, chill, and it just put me in a good mood actually. So
That's good,
yeah,
man.
I really liked it. I don't know if you have any favorite tracks you want to talk about, but I definitely have a couple.
So my two favorites are back to back to each other tracks 5 and 6, Kaleidoscope Eyes and
Okay.
Dalai Lama. Those are my two
Okay.
favorites, hands down. I know they're not her most popular tracks. I think Mountain Man and like Lights and Outer Space are probably more like the higher
Right.
played songs, at least according to Spotify they are. But I love Kaleidoscope Eyes and Dalai Lama. I think I love the recording of Dalai Lama on this.
I
So I
yeah.
listen to the live a lot, and the
Uh,
Kaleidoscope Eyes recording on the live is better than on this, but then the Dalai Lama on this is better than the live version.
yeah. So I also pegged Dalai Lama as one of my favorites.
Mm.
I really like the drums in that song, and there's a nice little drum solo in there actually, which is really cool, and
Yeah, such a
that
good
really kind
song.
of gives the song a new life compared to the rest of the album. Because I wrote in my notes that Dalai Lama comes at a time on the track list where the album, like, so it's like the middle part of the album, which is always kind of maybe the hardest part to get through, because like, you know,
Mm.
obviously the beginning's never hard to get through, and towards the end is like towards the end. But I think albums usually might sometimes struggle in the middle, but the middle of this album was really good because it had these songs that, like I said, I wrote that it gave it new life with the drum solo,
Mm.
and there's a insane guitar solo at the end, and then the drums come back in, and like, yeah, this one, like you said, it was really cool recording, like, and all the
Yeah,
different instruments coming together. It was a wild ride, but yeah, I really like that about it.
that's awesome. Yeah, no, I think like the run from Kaleidoscope Eyes all the way down to like Lights or like
Mm-hmm.
Fondling Forever is probably my little favorite. Like you're saying, it kind of saves the album because like the
Right.
songs before Kaleidoscope Eyes, like Mountain Man, Outer Space, The Night, and I believe
Sleepyhead is the
Sleepyhead
first track.
are slow. You know,
Right.
they're very
And then
slow.
these songs come in that have like these like fast and like upbeat drums, and it kind of takes it
Yeah.
in a different way, you know.
Yeah, and I think lyrically too, like Kaleidoscope Eyes and Dalai Lama are more like they add more to the more psychedelic aspect where
I
like,
think
you know,
they're more kind of like deep and more like
yeah,
introspective. Where the
yeah,
first songs are like Sleepyhead and The Night, which are also some
yeah,
of my favorites. I think songwriting wise, those are a little more like cut and dry and like more simple.
right. Which isn't bad, they're just different songs, you know, like
Yeah, totally. And I love those songs too. Um, those are two of my favorites also. So especially The Night. The album starts off really hot actually with
yeah.
Sleepyhead in The Night. I love the kind of cadence she sings with in The Night, and I love how it builds up to the chorus.
Mm.
And then if I remember correctly, like in the chorus, I don't remember the exact like lyrics, but in the chorus there's like a drop, like, so to speak. I don't know exactly how else to word it, but like it builds up and then it like comes down really fast. And yeah, that song just like made me really happy. And it's a shame that it's been cloudy here all week, because I feel like this song would be one of those perfect songs for like walking around outside.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, because like I love the way that Liz Cooper sings. Like I love her voice
Yeah,
is
it's very
just so
unique.
it's not super dreary because it's more like a ragtimey, I would say. That's a probably good, where she's not like dreary like a Clairo or like a Phoebe Bridgers or
Right.
anything like that. Like it's not like she sounds like she's about to cry,
No,
but
no,
it's
not at
like
all.
it's very like a very like uh I guess ragtime is the good way. Is where she's like kind of like she
Sure.
draws out her voice and that kind of thing, which I think is very beautiful. Um I don't know. Yeah, I think like the songs that aren't as popular surprised me on this album. I think for the
Yeah.
best reasons. Like Sleepyhead in the Night may not be the most popular songs of Liz Cooper's
Right.
because they may be slower or maybe different sounding than like her more popular tracks are more definitely the more like pop folk, kind of the more mainstream folk. Like I think Outer Space Mountain Man and
Right. Mountain
like
Man's definitely pretty
Lights.
classic, like folk
Yeah,
song.
Mountain Man is probably pretty cut and dry. That's probably like the radio song of this
Sure.
album,
Yeah.
especially
Still a great song,
2018.
to be
Like,
honest.
yeah, oh, great song. But I
Yeah.
just think the other songs on this album are way better than the hits. You know, like
Yeah. And I love an album like that too, where you have your hits and you have your deep cuts, and maybe there's a clear distinction between them, but there's not really a disparity in quality between them.
yeah, I actually the song Dalai Lama has a cool bass line opening it up, and I wanted to know if you caught it.
I didn't write anything about it, but I already I talked about the band being like really good in this song. So
Mm.
I guess that just pretty much encompasses all the instruments like being like, and this song specifically, Dalai Lama, it just seems like everyone was playing at their absolute like
And it's a
best.
7-minute song, but it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like 7 minutes when
No,
it
it
goes.
doesn't, because you have like obviously the different verses, but then you also have a drum solo, and then later you have a guitar solo. It's almost like multiple parts of the song,
Mm.
and it really like I said, that those long solos, I really like them, and because it adds to the like the atmosphere and like the psychedelia of the album, it just like puts you in a space where you're just kind of like sitting back and vibing. And I mean, that's, for me, like I typically prefer focusing on like music with vocals. Like I rarely will
Mm.
ever listen to something like jazz, or just like even like hip hop instrumentals. Like sometimes I find it difficult to listen to, because I really just like hearing rapping on those instrumentals. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, for something like this, it just really elevated my feeling of relaxation and like the atmosphere of the album, which I really think is what she was going for. And so
I agree.
yeah, so just shout
It
out to her and her band for like those incredible
Yeah,
solos
this
and
is
song
this is
structure.
someone I would totally see this band live. I'm
Yeah, it'd
sure
probably be a
that
cool
they
experience.
put on a great show with
I'm
it
sure it would
probably would
be.
be great, like a calm, cool atmosphere with some cool high moments and good low moments and stuff like
Yeah, and
that.
I'm sure the people would be super chill.
Yeah, it comes off as this really like peaceful psychedelic album, and like
It
even
is.
like some of the topics of the songs are like even like I guess going back to Dalai Lama, because that's a kind of the song that probably is my favorite song on the album, is like
Right.
topically, I mean the hook, or like the chorus of the song is like uh it's like the Dalai Lama says I'm perfect but my daddy thinks I'm not. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, and it's like that kind of like it goes along with the psychedelics of this album, of like where it's kind of like that free folky, like be yourself, be free, but then it's
Right.
like
I think
at the
that's like
same time,
classic folk tropes in this album, which
yeah,
I like. I love folk
I
music,
love it.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's also like what I like about this is like we've kind of like talked about like who is it, the Fleet Foxes or something like
Fleet
that.
Foxes, yeah.
Yeah, where like they're folk, but they're like so like dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun
it's like
dun
very
dun
poppy and like
dun
very
dun.
kind of upbeat.
This is such a mix of like psychedelic and folk. It's perfect. Like
Yeah, it
it
is
feels like
perfect.
a good different splash of something.
Yeah, and I think if you want to, I think if you want to hear, like we've talked about Mountain Man already and Dalai Lama, I think those are the two tracks that kind of accentuate
Yeah,
the
Mountain Man.
the combination of the classic folk, the typical kind of songwriting, and I'd say even her singing style is pretty classic folk, but it
Mm.
combines it with the dreamy and the psychedelic production, and it really just creates a
Yeah,
beautiful result.
it's a cool listen all the way through. Like I think this is a really good complete album too. Like I
Yeah,
think as like I didn't really think about it until you brought it up about how the album really builds up to these like the middle tracks, which a lot of albums don't do. It's kind of like just put together, maybe
yeah,
talk
that
about
that's one
after
thing
the
I
fact.
tend to notice a lot. I'd say, because I'd say most of my music listening is listening to full albums. I mean,
Mm,
especially with this podcast.
yeah,
And I will really often notice if an album drags, or if it has a lull, or if there's like a run where that like it's not as good. But I think the way that the tracks are structured on this album, it starts off slow, which I'd say Sleepyhead is a perfect opener, because it
yeah,
really sets the vibe for being like a relaxed, chill kind of album. But then by the time you do get to Kaleidoscope Eyes and Dalai Lama, it's building up. The drums are coming in more,
mm,
and then and throughout the rest of the album, it's really leaning into that whole psychedelic folk uh,
yeah. Well, and
vibe. Yeah.
man, I can't stress how much I love the transition from Dalai Lama to, or Kaleidoscope Eyes to Dalai
To
Lama.
Dalai
I
Lama,
think,
yeah.
I think even the writing between the two songs really show that kind of like where Kaleidoscope Eyes is that dreaminess. It's that you got, or like it's that dreaminess you see in someone, or like those, she's got kaleidoscope eyes, and like
Right.
it's the, whatever, like it's that it's the person that you just like think you
Think it's
you would just do
perfect.
anything for and everything. But then like Dalai Lama's like kind of coming to more grounded thought and being like, well,
Yeah.
I'm just here with my own, my own beliefs, and not what the society tells tells me what to do or tells me how to act or whatever, and I think that's cool. That you may not find on the earlier tracks, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
but it builds up. It almost like builds up that even the first songs like Sleepyhead and Mountain Man and all build up to Kaleidoscope Eyes and Dalai Lama as this like kind of like peak, and then they build back down in motions and
Right.
fade
Yeah.
right back.
So in my notes, I didn't write a lot about the last couple tracks because I think the album kind of climax. Actually, I completely agree with what you just said, saying the album kind of climaxes at maybe like Lights. I don't know. I mean, I like Lights. Had
Yeah.
a more great instrumental solos. Those last two songs there, I didn't really connect with me much, but not to say they're bad songs. I just didn't have anything too specific to say about them.
No, I think what's cool about this album is that the songs do fade in and out throughout the whole album. Like I think
Yeah,
really
it's clearly intended to be listened to all together and to just, like
yeah.
I said, be thrown on to some when you're just relaxing, laying down, kind of just chilling.
I imagine this in a sunroom, a back sunroom porch of a house while
Yeah,
everybody's
sure.
outside having a couple drinks, maybe while the
Yeah,
sun's
this would
setting on a
be
summer
this would be
day.
a good one to keep in mind when we hang out in the summer at
Oh,
your
dude,
pool. You know what I mean? Something like that.
throw it on, yeah, dude, throw it up,
Yeah.
throw on some boozy speaker, yeah, fuck yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
It
down.
fits right in with the with like what we normally listen to, like the Jack Johnson and the
Oh, dude, yeah, summertime. This is gonna go on the
yeah,
summertime
yeah,
playlist,
yeah.
man.
Minus
This is
the
a
one time
great.
that we listened to an entire Jack Harlow album on the aux.
When did we do that? The Jack Harlow?
Colin did it when we were hanging out one time. It was the day the
Oh,
Jack Harlow album came out, and I was like,
I
"Do we
don't
really
remember
have to?"
that.
I'm like, "Do we really have to do this? Gotta listen to the whole album. It's like over an hour probably of
Oh, dude, I don't.
Jack Harlow.
That
It's
was
pretty
some
bad."
proto. That was some proto. Classic mix-up right there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Um,
Yeah, way before.
yeah,
But yeah,
I I I think we kind of got the summer vibes. Kind of like what's great for the listeners of this podcast is that like we'll listen to the most random music. It doesn't have to be themed. It's literally just us being like, oh, let's listen to this. And I
yeah,
think
we kind
Window
of go
Flowers
from
is an
like
album that we'll
Babytron
listen
to
to later.
Clairo.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
listen to this album for a while. Like I think it's one of those
yeah,
ones that we'll be like, yeah, throw this back on. Why not?
yeah, and that's why I listen to new albums in general is to try to find music that I will want to listen to later. I mean,
And this
I
was
mean
a
that's
sleeper, dude. This was a
yeah.
sleeper. I didn't think this would be that big, and to you, but that's awesome.
It's really random for what I end up liking. I mean, I'd say this, the Wilco record.
Hmm.
Um,
That won an award, dude. Did you see that at the
did it
Grammys?
really?
I think so. I don't know. It got like
Their
some
new
sort of
one?
no, the Whiskey Taco Foxtrot or the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
It won an award at the Grammys of the year it came out.
No, I think this year it won like an award or something like that.
How did that? How?
Hold on, I'm gonna Google this. I don't
Okay,
whiskey Tango
it's called
Foxtrot
Yankee Hotel Foxtrot.
Yankee
Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. There you
Yankee
go.
Tango Foxtrot.
Yeah. While you fact check that, I'll continue with my thought that I had, which is Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, the Liz Cooper
Best
album.
historical album.
Best historic. Oh, sick. Well, good. It deserves it. But anyways,
What does that even mean, though?
I don't
guess
know.
because it's 20 years old or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe once you get 20 years old, you can. I don't know, but that Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Believe it or not, every hour is $1 gone.
Yeah,
And
dude,
Window
that album is
Flowers.
great.
Those
I
are
was
probably
just thinking of
my
that.
top three classic mix-up albums, other than my own, obviously, the ones that you've
I'm
given
so
to
proud.
me.
I'm so happy. That makes me so happy.
Yeah,
I'm
but
so proud, man.
yeah, I'm gonna keep this one in mind. You know, when the sun finally comes out in this godforsaken city, I will be listening to this album. So
Sun was out for me today.
that's good. Actually, I'm being really dramatic. It was actually kind of sunny today, but when I was writing my notes, it was overcast and it was probably like negative
like
20.
a lot of our snow melted down here.
Oh,
So.
I forgot the Remo Drive album. That's probably my number one favorite that you've.
Oh, dude, that album. I forgot we did that album. That album
Me
was
too.
great.
that album's fantastic. Like I listened to that album like 6 times the week that you gave it to
I
me.
It's so funny because I listened to the Patrick Sweeney album on the car ride home from school,
Yeah.
and to Remo Drive Eat Shit. That song is so good.
Yeah.
I actually listened to that. Oh, dude, last night I had to blow off to some steam, and I listened to
Hmm.
some. I threw in some Slipknot, some kind of
Oh
random
yeah.
shit, and I put on Remo Drive, and
Uh,
that shit hit. And I got out of the
it's
car and
so
I like
good.
lost my voice. It was like so good.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, dude. Anyway,
Yeah.
you
Anyway,
want to say anything else?
yeah, not really. I'd say just I mean, if we didn't say enough already, I highly recommend just like sitting outside when you have an hour and playing this album. I'll link it in the
Take
description.
some drugs, maybe.
Yeah, Classic Mixing doesn't endorse drugs, but if you have to,
No.
only for recreational, only for music listening
Yeah, for
purposes.
fun. Don't die.
Yeah,
Nothing
right.
that'll kill
Yeah,
you.
definitely
Do
don't
like
die.
crack or anything. That's bad.
Yeah, crack's bad. Just anyway, I don't know
Crack
where
is
we're
whack.
going with this.
Anyway, let's
Um,
go. Let's move on.
say no to drugs.
Don't
Stay
do
in school
drugs. Stay in school.
and
Be good to your parents.
listen to Liz Cooper.
Listen to Liz Cooper with No Flowers with the
Yeah,
Stampede.
I'm gonna listen to her. You heard her next album, the red one?
No, this is like the only thing I've really listened to.
Yeah, I think I might check it out because I think she's really
It
capturing something specific that's really resonating
Yeah,
with me.
that's awesome. Dude, let me know how you like her. I might listen to more.
Yeah, if I listen to it this week, I'll have it for you
I guess we're
next
gonna have
week.
a little bit of a trend, I guess, for like the next coming weeks is like lady folk singers or like
True.
we're
Yeah,
gonna have some.
when we reveal what we're doing next week. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna reveal something pretty cool for next week's
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, so we'll get to that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we can. Do you want to talk about the EP? I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I do. I really want to talk about the EP because like for 24 minutes of music, I don't think you can really find anything better, if you ask me, except for maybe like some
Ferris,
rap
what is
songs.
it? Ferris Wheel on Fire?
Ferris
Is that
Wheel on Fire by Neutral Milk Hotel.
the EP?
Yeah,
Rosario had
wow.
to send me the MP3s over email, zip
Yeah.
file.
Real underground.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll introduce the album a little bit. So,
Yeah, let me hear you.
Ferris Wheel on Fire. It's an EP by the band Neutral Milk Hotel.
Oh, our
Who,
good pals.
yeah, right. Who's
Way
my
back
good
on
pals.
week one.
Right. So you might have heard of Neutral Milk Hotel from their smash hit cult classic album In the Aeroplane Over the Sea.
Mhm.
They are a very mysterious, kind of ominous folk rock band who has since broken up and doesn't release a lot of music at all. So a lot of their records and EPs and all that is like just MP3s and YouTube videos and live performances kind of floating around. This would be one of them. So this EP was released in 2011. It contains 8 songs that were written and recorded sometime in the early 90s. One thing that's cool about this EP for fans of the band like myself, and I would probably say Riley, is a lot of these songs would later become other songs that you might be familiar with.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
You'll have to point out everything because I probably didn't catch everything.
Yeah, I have a few like little fun facts to point out. I mean, but yeah,
Can I make
basically,
a little guess of stuff as we're going, and are we doing that, or
what's that?
I might guess on stuff and be like, okay, is this song, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think anyone can really say for sure, but there's what it is like lyrics from these songs were taken and like injected into other songs. So that you can pretty easily figure out if you know the lyrics. But yeah, I guess we can just get into it. I guess I'll start by asking you what you thought about it.
This was really dude, emotional. This was like crazy. Like I loved the variety on it. Like I think Home was a different from like I loved how there's kind of different songs like where in an airplane over the sea tried so hard to tell a story that it I didn't realize how little variety we were really seeing of Jeff Magnum and the guys at Neutral Milk Hotel. And until you hear this like EP, because you have such variety, like even Oh Sister, I'd say Oh Sister, Home, and A Baby for Pre are like 3 different tonal songs. Like
Totally.
Home is like different. Like I don't know. It just
No,
like
Home's
was
very different.
yeah.
So one thing that I always found very appealing and interesting about this album is that
Mhm.
all of it, with the exception of Home, this entire album is just acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
It's just Jeff Magnum's guitar. Home is the only song where you get the introduction of other instruments.
Yeah.
So Home is also, it's known for being the only song on this EP that was totally unknown before this EP released in 2011. So the other 7 songs were, either performed live or on a different record somewhere.
Reused
But
or
yeah, like Home was the only one that was like heard for the first time when this
which
EP
is
came out.
awesome. So do you think it was recorded especially for this EP, or do you think it was something that was just
I
spare?
think it was. I think just based on him sounding exactly the same as all the other songs, I would say it was still recorded in the '90s and just buried away somewhere, and maybe it was found or something.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, yeah, it wasn't, included on anything before this. But it's a fantastic song. It's a really kind of fast and upbeat song compared to the rest of this album, which is mostly pretty somber.
Yeah. I actually was playing my guitar along with him and trying to see what chords he played, which he plays a lot
Yeah,
of open chords and not a lot of complex chords and stuff, but like
right.
the way he strums and I think the distortion he uses on his guitar, it's just so unique.
It's
Like
so sweet. It's so unique.
yeah, I just can't emulate what the sound is. Like it just
Right.
sounds so
I think
good.
that's what draws me kind of to these guys is like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people with more knowledge of the genre might school me on this a little, but I just have yet to find something that sounds like this.
Right.
I mean, like
Right.
you have the microphones, like all Phil Elverum's projects, like I don't know if you've
Nothing
heard.
like this though.
Yeah, like I don't know if you've heard what's the album called? It's got the one with "I Want Wind to Blow" on it. It came out in '01, but I can't remember the name of it. Like,
Dude, I'm the reason why our name is Classic Mix Up.
yeah, I'm supposed to like know the names of stuff. I think I don't know. It's by the
Is it the one with the
Microphones.
elephant on it?
Yeah. It's called
Yeah, I
The
know.
Glow Part 2. The Glow Part
Yeah,
2.
the Glow Part 2. We listened to
That's
that.
probably the album that I'd say it's closest to a Neutral Milk Hotel album without being a Neutral Milk Hotel album. But it's still not like it still doesn't have that quality that they captured for me. I don't know.
I think what's cool about the microphones is you can kind of break them down even into Mount Erie and what he did like on his own.
Yeah,
and, like,
because he has like different
A
projects.
Crow
Yeah.
Stared at Me is like the saddest album I've
Dude,
ever listened to.
I've been waiting to listen to that one because I don't want to like ruin my day. So I gotta make sure I'm already sad before I listen to that one.
Yeah, we can save that for a sad
It's on my
episode of Plastic
it's on my
Mix.
list of like stuff to listen to, but it's been there for a long time because I kind of just push it off because like I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm
it's hard if
prepared.
you're not. You gotta be like in a mindset. I was like not in a good mindset when I listened to it. And it like fucked me.
I've heard it's just like
It's sad.
I'm very interested in it, but I just don't want to like ruin it.
You would like it. Lyrically, it's really cool, but it's really straightforward. A lot of the lyrics are really straightforward, and
which is probably what makes it so sad because there's nothing to really leave up to interpretation.
Break down, yeah. It's I guess one day when we talk about it, I kind of have some like kind of that silver lining aspect to the album, which is pretty cool. But
that's cool.
Yeah, but from the microphones, comparing them to this is like very like makes sense. Like I think same circle, same time.
No, it's the same circle, no doubt, but it's just not the same. So
no, it's because Jeff Magnum's obviously he's crazy. He's a
special guy. Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're unfamiliar with the band or the guy Jeff Magnum, which I guess you probably wouldn't be, but if you are, he's just very. I don't know. He's very special. He's very different. We talked about him a lot and the band a lot in episode 1 of this podcast, which I would say check out. Fair warning, the audio mixing is terrible in that episode, but it's still worth.
It's listenable.
Yeah, it is. It's just we talk about In the Airplane Over the Sea, which is their most well-known album. So I highly recommend that. But yeah, so for me, in terms of tracks to point out outside of Home, my favorites are, I know you mentioned Oh Sister. So Oh Sister is an early version of, and which, spoiler alert for episode 1, that's one of me and Riley's favorite songs. It's probably my favorite song from this band, period. So
Oh, and this one like had a different. Oh, Sister had the different aspect to it that was like really cool. That I was
I
like,
think it's the way he kind of sings, where it's like he like doesn't miss a beat, if that makes sense. He like takes very few breaths. He just is kind of like bum 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 like throughout the whole song, really fast. And I think that gives it that super catchy quality, especially over those guitar chords. So yeah, and then many lyrics from this track were reused in the Airplane Over the Sea songs.
Yeah, what I love is that what I think is probably one of the closer ones too is My Dream Girl Don't Exist. Is just literally one of the is like what's the one song? Oh my God, what's the I'm off right now, but there's the one where he's like what and she was born or she was
Holland 1945.
I don't know, but My Dream Girl Don't Exist reminds me of the one song that definitely lines up with the Anne Frank's theory of that album.
Yeah. Communist Daughter and Oh Comely.
Communist Daughter. This is like a more faster like a more emotional version of Communist Daughter.
Communist Daughter. And yeah, they're totally different, but you can tell that they're like he was lyrically, in the same headspace when he was writing them. Yeah, lyrically, yeah.
Like it's definitely
My Dream
trying
Girl
to
Don't Exist
is
super emotional song, obviously.
And then what's a Baby for Pre doesn't really sound like anything off of like I guess lyrically doesn't sound like it should be on An Airplane Over the Sea, is it not?
Yeah.
Is it not
so Baby for Pre is actually one of my favorites. You might recognize it because there's a version of this song on the record on Avery Island.
That's what
it's called so there's a track on Avery Island called A Baby for Pre, but it's not this.
No.
It's something else.
Right.
And then there's a track on Avery Island called Where You'll Find Me Now, which is this. So
okay, that makes so much sense. That's what I remember A Baby for Pre off of On Avery Island because I love On Avery Island.
Yeah.
Right. And
So the difference is though, so obviously this is the acoustic version of Where You'll Find Me Now. And one of the differences is that in the On Avery Island version, sorry, I haven't written down the differences because I knew we were going to talk about this.
I got nothing written down. I'm going off the
no, it's okay. So on this version, it does the Where You'll Find Me Now part. Or I'm sorry, it does the Baby for Pre part, the first verse, but then it kind of switches into a different song, which is the one you're thinking of from On Avery Island. So the reason I like this version, the version from the Ferris Wheel on Fire EP over the On Avery Island version, is because this song stitches together like the two parts. It like basically makes it so it's like one song. It's A Baby for Pre on the first half, and then the second half is Glow Into You or Where You'll Find Me Now, whatever version you want to call it by. It's very confusing, and I'm not explaining it very well. But I think that's actually like kind of the cool thing.
It's a lot of the same. So the same song is being named several different
things. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 versions
and renamed and
and attached in different places. So like there's like 3 or 4 different tracks here that are different combinations and amalgamations of each other, and they've been just stitched together in different ways.
Okay, you got to run it down. What's April 8th? Okay, is April 8th one of the songs?
So April 8th is also April 8th is the exact same as the On Avery Island version, just acoustic, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Because so
basically to summarize for anyone left who still cares, April 8th is the exact same track that you find on Avery Island. A Baby for Pre is different than the one you find on Avery Island, but the song on Avery Island called Where You'll Find Me Now is attached to the Baby for Pre version of Ferris Wheel on Fire. So that's the similarity there. So that is kind of double, like it's on the Ferris Wheel on Fire and on Avery Island. And I'm saying I prefer the Ferris Wheel on Fire version because 1, the acoustic I like better, and 2, because it's attached to the first half, the Baby for Pre half. And I think that's like really cool that they can like restitch and rearrange their
Because
songs
it's
in
like,
different ways, and they're still compatible, and they just like it's like the same songs just arranged differently, and it like makes a different thing. I just think it's really really interesting how
yeah,
it works out like that.
it's insane because like I get so confused because I like know the names of the songs and I'm
But
like
and then
I'm
they're
already
different.
bad with names of songs, but like
Yeah, this
it's
is probably
just
a
like
struggle for you.
well because it's they don't sound at all what they're like named
Yeah.
after that I know from because I
I
love On
it
Avery
gets even
Island.
worse too. I just downloaded an album, a Neutral Milk Hotel album called Beauty from 1992, and this has demos of stuff from even before the era we're talking about right now. So this has Garden Head Leave Me Alone on it, but I don't think it's the exact same as the Garden Head Leave Me
Oh,
Alone
you
that you
gotta
hear
send me
on
that.
Avery
You gotta.
Island.
Okay, you're gonna have to send me that, and
Yeah.
then
I just think it's interesting because there's not many bands that you can go and hear. Okay, so let's say a song was like written and originally like a demo was made in 1992, and then you hear an EP version of it in 94, and then you hear the fully released and mastered version in 1996. There's not many bands that you
it
can
hurts
hear
my
three different.
head.
There's
It's
not many
so
bands you can hear
good.
three different versions of the same song, and they all have their own distinct character and their own distinct sound. That they're basically totally different songs. Like I just think I don't know. I'm really totally nerding out about this whole
Oh, I love
demo
it, dude.
thing, but
This is way cooler than I thought it would be. That's why I really
yeah,
wanted to listen to it, like, because we kind of pushed back today's like recording session because I wanted to listen to it again. I
yeah.
was a little rushed on listening to it the first time. And I'm like, I know a lot of this. I'm not making any connections, and I feel so fucking stupid. But I'm letting
No, they're
you like,
complicated.
dude, because it's
I've
like I know the names of the songs. They're not the same songs.
no,
It
they're not the
hurts my
same.
brain.
It's not like you see
Okay,
you see a baby for
what's
pre on this
is I
album and it's the same
is
as
I
the
will
other one.
bury you in time on Avery Island, or is that not?
That so this is where the lyrics thing comes in. Is those lyrics are used
Yeah.
in a different song that I don't exactly remember, but the song itself no is not. You know where you might know I will bury you in time from if
What?
you're familiar with
Oh, dude, don't even say it.
do you
Okay,
know?
say it. What are you gonna say? No.
Live at Jittery Joe's, Jeff Magnum's solo
Yes.
album of
Okay,
live
that's what
songs.
you. Jesus Christ. Excuse me, but
So this is
Jesus
the
Christ.
acoustic studio version of I Will Bury You in Time, which is probably most popular from Jeff Magnum's solo album called Live at Jittery Joe's, which it contains obviously the live version of this track.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
lyrics of this song were, I think, used in some On Avery Island songs. So I think what Jeff tends to do is he'll write, a song or two or whatever, and then when he writes his next song, the other thing is a lot of these songs weren't meant to see the light of day originally. So
Yeah. They were
when
all
you
just
hear him
live
reuse
songs
lyrics,
to play.
like yeah, so like when you see in Oh Comely that he reused a bunch of lyrics from Oh Sister, like Oh Sister probably was never meant to release, and that's why
They were
he
just probably
stole those
verse
lyrics.
changes live, or some.
And it's a whole rabbit hole with Neutral Milk Hotel. And I think another part of the draw to this band is that like there's no other band who you have to like find the music like this. Every other band you can just go on Apple Music and type their name and see their discography. But like these guys, since you have to like search and dig and figure stuff out, I
Oh,
don't know, it makes it also
it's like
kind of
old.
boring
It's
to
like
me.
what they do is they let us nerds.
Be
They
nerds,
take us
yeah.
back. They take us nerds, us music nerds, back to before the internet, when you have to
Yeah.
dig for tapes and dig
Yeah,
for
I'm
demos.
I'm fucking like knee deep in Reddit threads trying to find downloads for this 1992 album, and I found it. I'll send it to you after if you want to.
And it's all just it's malware and just,
The guy on Reddit said it was safe, but the link was 6 years old, and I'm like, please work. It's a MediaFire link. I've never had any trouble with MediaFire, so I don't know.
dude,
But yeah, I
beautiful, beautiful.
yeah, we probably drove off a lot of people from that whole.
No,
I don't
dude,
really
this is
care
fun,
though.
man. Fuck
No,
them.
it
What
is fun to
about?
find the connections.
Okay,
Um,
just go through the rest of the songs with me, then.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. What have we not talked about? The title
I
track doesn't
might
really have any significance.
Ferris Ferris Wheel on Fire, which I liked. It's a good
It's a
song.
good song, yeah. It doesn't. I don't think it
A little
becomes anything
different.
else though, and I don't think it has any lyrics that are reused.
Hmm.
But the
Engine.
guitar is really good, and I love that. So
What about Engine?
Engine has been released like many times.
That's on Jeff Magnum's live album too.
Yes, it is. And Engine is probably it's one of their oldest songs. It's also probably most well known for being the B-side to Holland 1945, which is famous because it ended up making the album in the Airplane Over the Sea. But yeah, Engine was originally released as a B-side to a single for that. Engine is also on their album Beauty, which I've mentioned a couple times today.
Yeah.
And it's on Jeff's live album, Live at Jittery Joe's, and obviously it's on this EP. And it's a beautiful song also.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of the more polished ones. You can tell. Like,
yeah, totally.
Sounds good.
Probably because it's been through many renditions.
Yeah.
I'm assuming when I'll let you know when I listen to Beauty, Engine is on it. I'll let you know if it's a different recording than the one that we hear on Ferris Wheel on Fire. I'm assuming it might be.
I'm sure it will be
a little more raw.
Sure
yeah.
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 I mean, that's a long time. I mean,
yeah, right.
Like
I think it's
90s.
I think yeah, right. I think it's like I was gonna say it's probably a good 5 years. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is wild, man. This is
also fun fact is that Jeff Magnum considers this to be the happiest song he's written, which I don't really see how the song is happy, but he also
Baby
says
for Pre was pretty happy. I don't know why.
I don't think any of their songs are happy, especially in the lyrical department. But
nah, Jeff Magnum's always like, oh
very
man,
morbid.
Oh, I could have saved her, man. I could have saved her.
Basically, he says, in my depression, I wrote this song. I was happy for 5 minutes, and then I went back to and then it went back to the shitter.
That's awesome. What an enigma.
He is an enigma. I think I don't know. It's part of the draw, I think, to these albums is that he's just so confusing and mysterious, and it's just. But the music is incredible. I mean, the music is amazing. So.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite track off this as we kind of wrap it up here?
I like A Baby for Pre.
Yeah.
Probably because of the mind fuck that I was like, what the fuck is this? Because it's not Baby for Pre. Because I like Baby for Pre off of on Avery Island. Version. And then I liked that better because I kind of understood the lyrics better in this version.
That's why I like the acoustic for Neutral Milk Hotel songs. So some
I'm
songs
listening and I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad, like, or that's kind of good, or like it kind of was like almost like what it kind of made, I guess, the character of Pre more human, like her, like, cause there's a couple lyrics about like her like having kids or like wanting to have kids and then be like,
right. I think
like
if I remember correctly, God, I don't know where I was doing a little bit of research on these songs. I think A Baby for Pre is written about a real person. It's based on a true story of someone like going through pregnancy and I guess just some ups and downs with childbirth and being a mother and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's also one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's comparable to the on Avery Island version because like I feel like because of the combining of like the 3 different sections, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
Into one more fluid like guitar like acoustic version.
Mm-hmm.
It feels more like a story, and I like that it humanized it. Like you can actually hear the character. It's not just random Magnum nonsense. It's like you can hear the story, you can hear where it's going, you can hear.
And that's why I love the acoustic recordings. I think going back to what you said earlier when you said you can really like hear and understand the lyrics and feel the character. I think by going the route of the acoustics and not going with the over the top loud horns and just everything going on and in the Airplane Over the Sea, as great as it is, I think the acoustics give you a better ability to focus, to like dial in a little more. And I've really appreciated that in my listenings of the EP.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I totally agree on A Baby for Pre, and I Will Bury You in Time is kind of my other favorite.
And Home sounds.
Yeah, and Home, and awesome. I mean, I like every song on this EP for sure. It's pretty hard to pick a favorite, but
if you like, I mean, this is all that I've listened to from them, but if you like Avery Island and in an airplane over the sea.
Right.
This is different because it's not some weird like clusterfuck.
It's not
about
crazy like over the top.
It's not like, oh, you got to like pick apart all the lyrics and stuff. It's just like really emotional, good stuff.
It's more like you can tell it's like early work. You know, I think it might be before he totally lost his mind.
Right.
I think he's kind of in between like mental illness and like insane asylum right now. He's kind of in the Goldilocks zone. So yeah.
Yeah. And then in an airplane over the sea is like pure like psychosis.
Like, he's like way
fantasizing about a dead girl who died.
Yeah, I don't want to talk bad about anyone, but like I don't.
No, it's not like talking bad
in real life.
Oh, he probably is.
Yeah, well, he's off the grid now, somewhere in Colorado, I believe. So.
Oh, like Kanye. He's off the grid.
Got that on my ribs, Onyx.
You actually like that? That's the only Playboy Cardi Playboy Cardi I'll listen to.
I met a kid today who is a big music fan, and he likes Playboy Cardi. He went to the Whole Lotta Red tour. And I'm like, that's so sick. Like, God, I envy that.
Dude, you get no love from a woman. Not you, that kid.
No, me too. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's fine, man.
I'd rather talk about Neutral Milk Hotel with my boy than get lost in a woman.
Hey, there's a time and place for that. Neutral Milk Hotels forever.
Yeah, for real. I tweeted and since deleted. There comes a time in every man's life where he must choose between Neutral Milk Hotel and getting a girlfriend. And like 10 minutes later, I quoted it, and I was like listening to some song by them, and I quoted it, and I'm like, I've made my choice.
Dude, hey, what do you expect, man?
Yeah, I can't help it.
No, it's good music, or
it is
of a woman, you know.
It is good music, man. Yeah.
Okay.
That about, I think, sums it up for this little EP. I think it's just captivating and emotional, but also just
great.
It's just good listening.
It's cemented me as a fan of Neutral Milk Hotel without
awesome, man.
hesitation.
That's awesome.
I can say that I'm a fan after I listen to this. I can,
because I've only heard the 3 projects as well that you listed earlier, but in my returning to this EP and my note taking and my just interest in this band and their kind of history, I've downloaded another album. I'm going to be listening to it, and I think I could definitely become a super fan of this band. And since this is all my local files,
those guys. So we're going to be all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to become the Neutral Milk Hotel podcast, but I mean, we might talk about them again in the future.
Yeah, definitely not. This is the Babytron and Claro podcast.
Dude, we haven't really talked about Claro much at all, but I've been listening to Claro like so much, dude.
I heard Sling play the other day, and I was like, man, this album's already like what, 2-3 years old. That feels weird.
She needs to make some music.
Get on
Claro,
her
if you're listening. First off, if you're listening, I love you. Second off, if you're listening, make some music.
If Claro's listening, I'd be like, hey, if you're single, my guy Rosario is interested.
I don't think she's single, and I think she's a little out of my age range, unfortunately. But
what, dude?
I make an exception.
Hey,
I think she's like older than you think.
Well, she's probably 26, 27.
I think she's younger than that. She's 24.
Oh, dude, that'll 5 years. You're fine.
That'll work. Never mind, that'll work.
When you turn 20, that's nothing, dude. That gap will look a lot smaller.
Yeah. Hey, Claro, if you're listening. Anyways, dude, you know the song "Bubblegum" by Claro?
No, it's almost only like her most popular song.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Just making sure you know it.
I do know.
I mean, it's old. I don't know, but I listened to it like 7 times today. It's so good. Well, okay, I made a mistake. I watched.
Okay.
I just my words carefully. I watched her Nardwuar interview yesterday, and so all day today and yesterday, I was just listening to her music. And first off, her Nardwuar interview is awesome. Second off, I've been listening to her music a ton. I listened to Bubblegum like 7 times today. But she also, Nardwuar gives gifts in the interviews. Mm-hmm. He gave her a gift of this record by this guy called Jay Arner. Do you know him? Mm-hmm. He's this like indie pop singer. He's like super electronic, like kind of like alt pop singer. He's from Vancouver. Nardwar gave Clara this record of his, and I'm like, okay, well, if Clara likes it, it must be good. So I listened to it, and it was like super cool. It's called J2 by Jay Arner. It was a super solid album. There's a track on there called Earth to J that I've also listened to like 7 times today. It's insane. It's just really
Cool.
like, different. Yeah, it's like not something I would normally listen to. I feel like you would like it also.
Who's it by?
Jay Arner. It's like I said, it's like super electronic, indie pop, like very weird. I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it ended up growing on me a lot. I don't know.
That's awesome.
See, I listened to Immunity yesterday too. I already said that. Everyone knows how much I love Clara. Yeah,
Clara, love me some Clara too.
Yeah, I listened to the Electrophonic Chronic as well by the Arcs.
Ooh, how did you like that?
Yeah, I liked it. I wasn't like
album's great.
Yeah, I wasn't like I did think it started off a little slow. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I was surprised because when I listened to it, I guess if everybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it's Electrophonic Chronic by the Arcs, and we reviewed one of their albums on this show, actually, Yours Dreamily, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. And I guess when their new album came out, I was worried because the Black Keys album that came out this past year sucked, in my opinion. It was boring, basic, whatever.
Right. And the Arcs is Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys. It's his like side project.
Yeah, it's the lead singer and guitarist of the Black Keys, his like side project with a whole bunch of like production guys, like what is it, studio artists, guys that like kind of aren't really well known, but they make great music on the side. So the Arcs came out their new album, and I heard all the singles, and the singles were okay, super produced, overproduced. But like their songs that were on the B side really showed up, and I think were kind of different and kind of classic Arcs. You have a couple songs where they kind of tune down Dan Auerbach's voice, even make him sound deeper, and I liked that.
Yeah.
That one song, Behind the Mind or something like that.
Behind the Eyes.
Behind the Eyes.
Yeah.
And then like all that's, and then it's like the something about men, that one song. It's like,
what?
Hold on. I'm gonna look it up.
I will say one thing about I when I listened to Yours Dreamily, I was
a man will do no wrong. Wrong. A man will do wrong.
For Yours Dreamily, their first album, since I was listening to it for the show, I was like really I like listened to it multiple times, took notes, paid a lot of attention. I was listening to this one while I was playing PGA 2K on PlayStation, so I didn't really like. Best. I didn't really like take it in as much. But like every once in a while, I would hear something I really like and be like, "Oh, this song's good," and like look and see what song it was. So I think I still kind of owe this one a fair chance. But I'll just say like I liked it in general. I don't know if I liked it as much as their first one, but also I haven't really given it the fairest of chances yet. So I'll probably be returning to this one just to see what's up with it.
For sure, yeah. Yep, dude. I guess what I've been listening to recently, I guess that's a good transition. Is a lot of Cream, dude. Cream, you know the band Cream?
Sounds familiar.
Sunshine of Your Love. It's like bum 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 bum.
Oh yeah.
Bum. So I used to love Cream like early high school, middle school, and I got into their album Wheels of Fire. And that stuff is so bluesy and nasty. And then I've made a whole playlist of early Black. Wheels of Fire. I would recommend the song "Born Under a Bad Sign," which is a cover of Freddie King, maybe some blues guy, and Politician. I love Politician, that song. And what is it? In a White Room. I think it's called. The first song on the album is in Joker. You remember the Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Yeah,
Joker?
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's in the the.
Okay, I'm sure I recognize that. I've seen that.
When he's in the cop car at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah,
that song is a Cream song off of Wheels of Fire. So I got it, but the song that kind of stood out to me in the listen this time through was Politician, and I listened to Another Day Is a Dollar Gone, is Patrick Sweeney's album that we reviewed on this podcast. Is Wednesday Night has been on my listen like I guess my cue so much. Like I don't know if you like that song off that
Yeah, that's
the
like
album,
that's one of the ones that I feel like we didn't really talk about the first time around either.
no, but it's just it kind of stuck out to me
Yeah.
a lot. And
I really
Norma
like
Jones,
Million to Me, which I think is like a pretty
Million to
I
Me.
think that's like a pretty popular song off it, but that's the one I listen to the most for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's a good song. It's
Yeah,
a chill,
is, yeah.
quiet song. It's great though.
Yeah, I also listened to another thing you told me to listen to, the Peach Pit album. I already texted you about how much I like it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Peach Pit. Also, shout out Vancouver. I listened to some Vancouver artists this week,
BC,
I guess.
baby.
Yeah,
BC.
shout out BC. Shout out Nardwar. He's from Vancouver.
Did you see that video of him talking to that fucking Prime Minister of Canada? And he's like, do you feel like the protesters should have been maced? And the guy's like, oh, we didn't use mace when I protested, whatever. Like they didn't have pepper spray, blah blah blah. And then Nardwar's like sitting there. Yeah, he's a young guy, probably 1991, and he's like,
oh my gosh,
how do you feel about them using mace on the protesters or something along the lines of that? Yeah. And the Prime Minister is French, and he's like, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say? And then they're like, pepper spray. He's like, oh, we didn't have to worry about pepper spray when I was a protester, blah blah blah. And then it ignored the conversation.
The question.
And we're sitting there like,
I haven't seen many Nardwar videos actually. I've seen the JID one, and I think I've seen the J. Cole one, and
the new one.
he did a new one not too long ago with him. But yeah, I love the Claro one for obvious reasons. But
I will throw that on the back burner.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a few minutes, it's a shorter one, I think. Actually, it's actually really cool. She talks about a lot of like the music that she listened to growing up, which I think is always cool to hear about an artist's inspirations. And like when you go back and listen to those songs, it's like it's not like I can hear Claro in the songs that she's listing, but I can just like see someone listening to these and then like concocting, her sound. I don't know. It's just cool to hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was talking about the Peach Pit album is pretty fantastic. I think it's their best record to date.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if you would agree with that or not.
I would say it's their best complete album.
Yeah,
I would say.
And I think
it has a lot of variety, a lot of fun stuff.
The first track, that song is awesome.
I can hear it playing in my head.
Even at the Cocaine Continental. It's just so catchy. That is an earworm if I've ever heard one. I mean that's been on repeat for me.
Oh, I've almost seen them 3 fucking times live.
I know.
I'm gonna have a mental breakdown, dude. This is so like, oh.
Next time they come around, man.
Dude, and I missed out on this tour too. I fucking didn't buy tickets. Well, because the first time they came to Detroit, I gave away my tickets, and then the second time, when they came to Grand Rapids,
had a situation. I remember. That sucked for you, man. Speaking of concert tickets and Claro, Claro Boy Genius and Claro and Dijon are having a concert in Columbus, but it's $100. It's like very I don't know, it's very tempting, but it's $100, and then you got to drive to Columbus. It's probably be like,
and then get a hotel.
Like, no, I'd drive back that night. I'm not paying for a hotel.
When is it?
Summer, June, end of June.
Okay.
I signed up for the pre-sale, but I don't think I'm gonna buy them. But
yeah, it's where you meet your bisexual love of your life girl.
Imagine,
dude. Would you?
I probably melt if
you okay, this is a question for me as friend to friend. If we went to the Boy Genius Claro concert and the most perfect female fell into your lap, like was enthralled by you.
Yeah.
Oh, handsome Italian guy,
That's
bushy eyebrows, nice smile,
Yep.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Comes and she's like, "Oh my god," and blah blah blah, and she's like got a nose ring and like bisexual, be bisexual.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
What would you do? Would you do anything if the most perfect person fell
What do
in
you
your
mean?
lap?
What would I do?
Well, okay, no, hold on. Would you do anything about it? Because I feel like you might get a little overwhelmed. Would you like pursue?
Yeah, of course I'd be overwhelmed. Yeah, I'd pursue.
Yeah.
You already said she was enthralled by me.
Yeah. Listen, man. Okay, I'm just saying, dude.
What kind of question is that?
If you had the opportunity, would you take it? A lot of people would be like, "Oh, I couldn't do it. It's weird. That's weird."
Why
Columbus,
would that be
Ohio.
weird?
I don't know, dude.
I mean, it depends. Is she a Twins fan?
No, she's at a Claro concert. I don't think she's watching baseball.
Okay, I'm at a Claro concert. I'm watching baseball.
I think you're an outlier. I'm sorry. A bisexual chick that listens to Claro and Boy Genius is not watching the.
I'm
Twins.
just asking because I've made
the
that mistake in the past.
Guardians.
Yeah,
If it's in
the
Columbia,
Cleveland Redacted. Yeah,
Cleveland, the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
What are they guarding?
Well, that would suck if she was from Ohio, though, because that'd be. Why are we talking about this?
The hypotheticals. I don't know. We could kind of wrap it up. Talk about what we're doing next week.
Yeah, you wanna? I have no real other music talk. Oh, I have one thing that I wanted to show you specifically.
Yeah.
Did you know that Freddie Gibbs and Madlib have an EP?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that until literally today. It's pretty sick. It's only like 2 complete songs and then some instrumentals, but I love listening to Madlib instrumentals. But anyways, we can talk about next week. Yeah.
All right. So we're doing a little mix up today, folks. Well, I guess not really mix up, but
it's pretty much the same format, just a little special.
We're doing our little be bisexual, eat hot chip kind of moment, and we're going and reviewing some indie folk bands. And so I'm giving Rosario the album. I forgot it. Shit, hold on a second.
It's by Big Thief. I forgot it too.
Yeah.
What's it called? Captivity or some shit like that?
Capacity. The 2017 album Capacity by Big Thief, and I'm getting from Rosario.
Stranger in the Alps by Phoebe Bridgers. And I don't know if you want to introduce our special guest, but
so we're bringing in our Phoebe Bridgers, our Big Thief, our because we're prepping this to eventually review the Boy Genius album, which is Phoebe Bridgers led.
Yeah. We're trying to get our basis established.
We're trying to.
We're getting into some new stuff.
We're bringing in a historian in, okay?
Yeah, an expert, if you will.
My lovely girlfriend's going to be on our next episode, and she's going to educate us about our 2 albums because she is very familiar with the 2 albums we're reviewing.
That's awesome.
And she's going to talk to us about Boy Genius, educate us, talk to us about who the group is, because we don't know who the Boy Genius is. And I'm probably going to be made fun of because I don't know Phoebe Bridgers shit. And it's okay.
That's okay. I do know Phoebe Bridgers shit very well. I'm excited to listen to it again and notate it. Does this mean that your girlfriend's gonna come on and listen to a West Side Gun and a Rome Streets album, and we're gonna school her too, or no?
Maybe down the line if she wants to come back. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. She might sit through an hour of just yelling at us the whole time. Yeah. And then be like, I don't want to come back on. No, she's really cool, but she's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
for sure. She is cool.
She'll definitely. She'll probably come back on we could do a little MF Doom, a little bit of, she wants to learn more rap stuff.
That'd be sweet.
So we gotta show her some rap. I
found the coolest lock screen today of MF Doom. Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Okay. We can wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. So that was episode 14.
Dude, it's 14.
Thanks for watching till the end. Yeah, episode 15, as you heard, is gonna be a special one. Our first ever special guest coming on the show. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Mm-hmm. These episodes come out every Friday at noon, same place, same time, Spotify, everywhere. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us at Twitter at Classic Mix Up Pod. If you're watching the YouTube video, it's on the ticker down there right now, scrolling across the screen. Yeah, just thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in every week. We love doing this podcast, and
Yeah, it's a dream.
we're thankful for everyone who watches it and listens to it. And yeah, we hope to grow the brand a little more and
Yeah,
see where we
for
can
sure.
go.
Yeah, for the brand.
Anything you can say before we wrap up?
I guess everybody try to I would just say try to find your own peace, Find and whatever makes you happy, don't let anybody try to bring you down on your opinions or your feelings on stuff. Like if you love an album, if you love it with all your heart, someone that you hold dearly says that album sucks. It sucks. Horrible. And it hurts you, brush it off, man. Whatever makes you happy in the end will be what
I like
makes you
that.
happy and at peace. So
I
I
like
guess
that.
that's my little anecdote for the day.
I like that. No guilty pleasures. If you love it, wear it.
Yeah, do it because that's all you got. You got yourself in the end, no matter what, So.
Yeah. Well said, as always.
All right.
Anyways, with that, that is our installment for
Classic
the week.
Mix Up episode 14. Everybody, thank you again.
Yeah.
We'll
Hope to see you
guys
next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.